welcome friends. I'm Smitha from the blog Smiling Colors, and today I've pulled out my sketchbook to do some art journaling. A blank page in your sketchbook can feel very daunting, so I like to just start with a pencil. I'm writing a quote down here and I'm using a mechanical pencil because I always carry this pencil with me. I don't have to look for a sharpener and the pencil is always sharp and ready. I'm writing down my quote and I'm doing a loose lettering style. I don't want anything particular, I just want to have a rough idea of where I want to place each of the elements on my sketchbook page. Now it's time to add color, and to protect the pages of my sketchbook, I like to place a piece of paper underneath, and I'm pulling out my Tombow Jewel brush pens today along with a water brush. I'm applying color onto the paper quickly. I just want to add these 3 colors onto the paper and then blend them smoothly with the water. I squeeze the water brush to drop a lot of water onto the paper, and then I'm just using a back and forth motion till all the color spreads nicely with the water. Because the jewel brush pens are water based, when you add water the color kind of softens and you can blend the colors very easily to achieve a nice watercolor look. Now we want to let this layer dry, and I'm using a heat tool just to speed up the process so I can work on my next layer of color. Now I'm pulling out 2 more colors of Tombow Jewel brush pens, and I'm going to draw in leaves on the right side of the page. I don't need them to be precise or anything, I'm just adding color to the paper, and I like to mix 2 colors to make my leaves. This adds a nice variation and just adds more detail to it. I'm using the water brush again to blend the colors, but I'm not adding too much water to the paper. I just want there to be enough water to blend the colors and create a leaf shape. So what I'm doing is I use the paintbrush or the water brush to elongate the shape, create that leaf shape, and give it a nice pointy tip. And with the pigment that's left on my paintbrush, I'm just drawing a few lines on the left hand side to bring that green color onto there. A little bit of color onto the blending palette. This is a black color, and then I've placed a stencil. So with this color I'm just filling in a few of the stencil holes. What I want is just a little bit of black on the page, not too much. And then I just repeated that in 1 or 2 other places, just so that your eye moves all around the page with this black color. And I water down that color and then I'm splattering it onto the page. This is one of my favorite things to do. It is so art therapeutic. You want to add a lot of water onto the blending palette and just simply flick the paintbrush to create these black little flecks of color on the page. Art journaling is such a versatile technique. You can just use whatever you have in hand, keep layering different paints and textures and colors to create a layout that speaks to you. So I'm adding white acrylic paint now, and I'm drawing circles. These circles are not precise. You can see they're kind of rough and haphazard. I like that. I kind of like the flow of it. I like the way the white contrasts against all of the watercoloring we've done, and it adds such a bright layer and texture on top. So I really like how this is looking. Now I think I'll come in and write my quote in before I add too many more details. To do my lettering, I'm using an oil-based pen today. This is the Mono Twin permanent marker. This is a great pen to use here because if your paper is damp, a water-based ink will bleed and kind of create these splotches, but an oil-based ink will just letter beautifully. Since I'm lettering on watercoloring paper though, the paper has this texture, so you want to go really slowly, otherwise your pen will skip. So take your time, letter slowly, and just trace in all of the alphabets that we first sketched in with our pencil. So I thought I was done at this point. I really like how everything looks, but I do think that those leaves that I have on the right hand side, they look very lonely on the page. The page needed a little more green. So I pulled out my markers again and I painted more leaves all over the page. As an artist, the page felt a little empty to me, and even though there's a part of me that's saying don't spoil the page, just let it be, I also want to see how it's going to look with more leaves, so I went ahead and added leaves all around the page. Please do let me know in the comments below if this is something that you also do. Talk to yourselves while you're creating in your sketchbook and wondering if you should be stopping or forging ahead and adding more layers of color. I'd love to know. In the end, I think this page turned out pretty cute. I could have stopped, but I like the way it looks with the green, and I love the way this page turned out finally. It just makes me happy, and the pink and green contrast so beautifully. I hope today's video tutorial inspired you to create something in your own sketchbook, friends. I love art journaling, and the thing about art journaling is that there are no rules. Whatever you do is correct. I like to start with a pencil, and that's what I'm going to tell you to do as well. My biggest tip is that take a pencil, just write something down on your sketchbook page. Be it maybe a quote, you like to draw flowers, maybe just doodle something. Once you have something on the page, a starting point, you'll be able to figure out what you want to add to it and build accordingly. Thanks so much for spending some crafty time with me today, friends. I'll see you all again soon in another video. Till then, happy crafting.